Hello, VIP Kid teachers. Teacher Christina here, and I just wanted to show you today how I have organized my props so that I never, ever have to prep them. I have seen a lot of amazing YouTube videos where extremely dedicated teachers have like little baskets or folders where they organize their props and they go in every day and they get their props ready for class, and that is just not for me. I am super disorganized. I am kind of lazy and I just don't want to organize props every day. I never want to have to prep them. And so, with a lot of work in the beginning, I created this system and now I never, ever have to think about a prop before class. Ever. Now, a little bit of background about me. I live in a camper. If I bring anything into this camper, something has to leave. I am full to the brim. We do not have a lot of space in here. I can see basically my whole camper from my chair right here. I just don't have any room for a bunch of extra stuff. So as a result, my props are all 2D camper. Right? Now I do have two 3D props, and that would be my tiny little squishy globe that I got from Dollar Tree. I love this guy. And then of course I finally got a dino, and who knew like the magic of dino? This guy, he can like bring any student out of their shell. It's amazing. I love you, right? So I want to start off by showing you my prop box. My prop box was made with a $4 large pan from the baking section at Walmart. Okay, now it looks scary, but remember, this is hundreds of props. Now, if you'll look closely, I have created dividers and labels so that this mess makes some kind of sense, which it does, and I'm going to explain how that works for you. Now, before I get into the details of the box itself, I want to tell you why the Broadway method, as I like to call it because it makes me feel important, why this is such a good way to organize your props. Number one, you have hundreds of props and you have access to them in seconds. I probably use hundreds of props every single day. Most classes, I am using at least 10 props, if not more. For food and animal lessons, I'm using probably 50 or 60 props. No kidding. Like, I'm showing prop, okay? So that's the first benefit. You can access them all really quickly. The second benefit is that you can move anywhere in the curriculum. If you have ever spent any time with children, you know that they are really good at going off on rabbit trails, and all I can say is, listen, little Bow Bow, do not try to throw me off by talking about a random cat, because boom, I gotcha, right? Like, I'm ready to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I like the fact that all of these props help me, one, clarify myself. When I'm trying to explain something like lungs, I was going and that just looks like boobs, right? So that anyways, I can clarify and say lungs. Oh, I don't recognize that. Lungs. Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So I can explain myself. Two, I can explain the curriculum because sometimes it's just hard to explain based on the slides alone. And the third and most important thing I can do to clarify with these props is I can clarify what little Bow Bow is saying to me, okay? Because sometimes they start talking and you're like, okay, I think I know. And how do I talk about this with not too much incidental language? I don't really, right? I can immediately show them, are you thinking of cookies? Cookies, right? I can immediately show them exactly what they are talking about. And it is just so good to know that they are heard and they're understood and that I have something that they care about, and I want to talk about it. So those are three really, really great reasons to use this system. Now, it's important to note, I do not organize these props by lesson. Again, I like to be able to roam around with free talk, and so we speak topically by nature. We don't speak lesson, based on lesson. So if things go crazy, like, I can really just keep up with it. So I don't recommend organizing it by lesson. I recommend organizing it by topic. The second thing is my dividers. I'm going to pull out this one back here. My dividers inside of the box, they are made of this, it looks like cardboard, right? It's corrugated plastic. You can buy a big old poster board size sheet of it from Lowe's or Home Depot for less than 20 bucks. I think it's like 15 bucks for the sheet of it, and it's really durable if you cut it the right way. You see there's lines. You want to make sure that you cut it the way you would cut cardboard, carefully, okay, in the right direction. So I have labeled dividers. I used those little strip magnets that you get for 97 cents at Walmart to create divider holders on the side of the pan. And the way I did that was I stacked those strips up so that they were kind of wide, and then I stuck them to the side of the pan. I will show you a picture so that you can see what the heck I'm talking about. But now I can slide these dividers right in. I use the magnets because I just think they have really strong adhesive, and they were really easy to conform to my specifications. I was able to measure, but now because I have these divider holders, I can move the dividers around, and I can change the sizes of the sections based on how my prop box changes and evolves over time. So I really love that. Getting even more specific, within each divider, I have envelopes. Now these envelopes are just regular mailing envelopes that I cut off the top of and I laminated so that they're just a little bit more sturdy. Within each category, I have these envelopes, and these envelopes are color coded. As you can see, every stick in this envelope is yellow and labeled, and I can easily see basically every single label except maybe monkey back here, right? I can see all of my labels very quickly. Now, if I have a lesson about food or a lesson about animals, yeah, I'll go ahead and grab my envelope out and be ready with this one right in front of me so that I can pull out my animals as we talk about them, right? The envelopes just further divide my categories. Animals is a huge category, okay? Yellow are my safari, my zoo type animals. I have a red envelope, and these are my farm and my domestic animals. I have blue sticks, and those are water animals. I used a smaller envelope for those because there's just not quite as many. And sometimes they get a little cattywampus, but for the most part, they all stand up straight, and I can find my prop super fast. So that's how I organize within the dividers. Now, getting even more specific, how do I do each prop? I label each prop with a colored popsicle stick, but it's important to know that the popsicle sticks are placed very strategically. Now, when I first started, I had put the popsicle sticks basically wherever I thought was right, like in my mind. So like giraffe, his popsicle stick would have been right here and I would have said giraffe, right? And I would have held him like that. Well, I did that, and then I went to put them all in their little bags. At the time it was bags, and they were all they were all different heights, and needless to say, that was not aesthetically pleasing, and it was definitely not efficient for me finding props very quickly. So I had to figure out a way for a giraffe to be the same height as like a tiger in my prop envelopes. And so what I do is I make sure that I glue the popsicle sticks on in such a way that when I put them in the envelopes, they're going to be the exact same height. Sometimes that means that my stick is really only there for a label. Like, I mean, the lion stick doesn't do anything but just labels it so that I can put it in the envelope correctly. But that's what helps me make sure that I can efficiently grab these props, because I'm telling you, if you're going to use a ton of props, you need to be able to grab them super fast. Kids, you know, Bao Bao, he doesn't have a super long attention span, so you just got to be able to go, 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 right? The other thing that you should note about the individual props is that they are all labeled, but on the back of the prop. I do this intentionally because it increases my speed. When I am looking through my little props and I know I want Tiger, I just grab him and I automatically know without needing to go, oh, 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 there you go, right? I don't need to do that. I know that because all the labels are on the back, that when I grab it, I can immediately put it to the camera and it is facing the camera, and we know that Tiger is looking right at Bao Bao, right? Last thing about the individual props, I use a matte, M-A-T-T-E, laminating paper. I do not like shiny props. I do not like seeing a lot of glare. It's daytime right now when I'm filming and there's glare on my name and I hate that. I don't like it. So I did use some shiny laminating paper at one point in time and I just don't like it. Monkey is with regular laminating paper. Okay, lots of glare. I have to get them just right to not have a bad glare, and then the camera has to focus. It just takes too much time. But if you look at someone like Hippo, he is done with matte laminating paper, and I can turn him and do all kinds of things. And no, he's not perfect, but he is really, really not shiny, which is important to me. I don't like for Hippo to be shiny, or any of my props for that matter. I will put a link to that in the description. Oh, a little kind of trade secret that I have is I have a few props that I use all the time, and one of my tricks to getting to them super, super, super fast is I put the stick a little bit lower on the prop than I would normally. So normally I give it about that much space. For Cat, because I use Cat all the time, I put his stick a little bit lower so that he stands a little bit taller in the box. That way I can grab him super fast. Cat. Ah. Some other props that I give a little bit more height to would be my yes no stick. Yes, no, I love, this is my favorite prop out of every prop that I own, and I have a video with my favorite props. If you're interested, you can go watch it. It tells you why I love this prop. It's the best one that I've ever had. And then Sun Moon is a very, very, very close second. All right. I also really love Greater Gator, even though I don't get to use him as much. Right. So I have a video with all of my favorite props. Now, if you like this system and you don't want to try to find hundreds of props, I actually sell a document with every single 2D prop that I use. It's on Etsy. I will put the link below. It is $15, hours and hours and hours of work, but you won't have to do that because all of those props will be there and ready for you. Now, you will want to have a little bit of a cutting out party to get all the props cut out and then laminated. But other than that, you won't have to be searching and Googling and trying to find all the, come up with all the props that you're going to need and find all the props that you're going to need and print all the it's all going to be right there for you. So if you are interested in that, please visit my Etsy shop and share and tell everyone about how super awesome it is. Yeah. So anyways, I hope you have a great day and happy teaching.